All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about a fellow YouTube creator who is under fire for doing what he does. And I'll do what I do in real time for a few real people just like you right there, just like me here. So Rick Beato, who I've referred to a few times on my own channel, and obviously Rick has a huge audience and a huge following, and I respect what he does. In fact, he's a real music guy, whereas I'm just playing. I'm just an opinionated person. I think I have a good ear for music, but Rick plays music, he composes music, he's hobnobbing with some great musicians. He just spoke to David Gilmour a few days ago, and that video has over 1 million views. Rick really doesn't need my help here, but what's happening to him, I think, needs to be addressed. And this platform, it's all of these different pitfalls. Nobody thought years ago when this started, and I was one of those people. Hey, I'll upload a few videos to YouTube and see how it goes, almost like just something you would do around the house. Hey, I'll take out the trash, then I'll make a video. It's we never, some of us never expected, in the other channel I had 82,000 subs or something. Never in my wildest dreams. I was hoping to get to maybe 10,000, and then it kept growing. And it's like the Borg, it's like the algorithm. People get notifications on videos, and then they decide they want to subscribe. By the way, you can still do that here. As I try to rebuild my little channel here, I think I just went over 6,800, which is pretty good for trying this again. To get to 80,000, I'm going to need some big video, some crazy thing to happen, and I don't know. So, anyway, let's not make this about me. Let's talk about Rick. So, Rick went on, and the title of his video is Now It's Personal. The UMG drama continues. Now, Rick Beato is a big enough entity that he has the ability to hire lawyers, and he's certainly appealed all of these strikes that he's getting from Universal Music Group. That seems to be his main arch enemy. The fact that he now thinks this is personal, he must have some inside information. You can go watch his video. I'll put a link in it, but it's easy to get to Rick's channel, and make sure you subscribe to his channel. So I'm doing my part here just to help grow his audience. Look, whatever happens to me, happens to me. I'm also a bit of a wild card because I talk about faith and I talk about politics, and there are people who insist, I want to watch mindless stuff. Stop interjecting politics and faith and all this stuff. And, I hate to say it, but my most popular videos are mindless, goofy videos. The soap opera series, As the REO Turns, or As the Who Turns, or As the Journey Turns, those things are popular because they're escapist. You can wallow in the problems that other people are having, and this way you don't have to confront the truth of your own life. That's kind of what this is about. But in the case of Rick Beato, he's trying to demonstrate, how a guitar riff differs from this to that, or he plays a song and he tells everybody what he loves about the song. Wouldn't the record label shouldn't they embrace something like that? Like if he's featuring like a Johnny Cash song, and I guess he had Rick Rubin on and went to see Rick, and Rick is this brilliant producer, produced really interesting albums for Johnny Cash, and even Neil Diamond he did an album with, and to me I thought that came out great. And Rick tends to, I'm talking about Rubin, tends to really bring out the best in people when he's their producer. Tom Petty, he worked with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and so many others. The guy's a genius. And so, this music is on a certain record label, and that record label apparently doesn't appreciate the fact that Rick Beato is actually trying to help them sell more records. Maybe that's not his intent when he does the video, but he's going on there, and people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to go look for this album. And even if they're just streaming it, it helps Universal or any other label that's involved in what Rick is doing with either the artists that he has on or the producers or even people he just hangs with to talk about music. So, I think a lot of this, folks, is hard to understand. Back in the day, we bought cassettes and we bought albums, and we thought we were going to get in trouble if we recorded music off the radio. Remember that? Put your tape in and hope you can get the beginning of the song, or the DJ doesn't talk over the beginning of the song or whatever. And those days were kind of cool. You could record music on a tape and then, play it in your car or whatever, and you would have the radio stuff in there. But if you really loved the song, that was like the poor man's Napster in those days. It was first foray into, violating the rules. Now we have streaming, and I still believe you should purchase stuff if you really like it, own a hard copy of it, especially with all the technology going on now. Don't buy the new Foreigner 4 release. I mean, just don't do it. I mean, maybe some still will, and they're trying to make money, but they're auto-tuning people. They're cleaning up stuff. They're making it, perfect pitch, when all of us want the original. We want all of the warts, all of the flaws. We want to hear it the way it was recorded, not the way this generation likes music, which is pitch perfect and everything on a computer. So again, getting back to Rick Beato, he's a throwback. He's from my era. He loves a lot of the music that I love. He loves some music that I don't love. I mean, he seems to really be into some of the 90s stuff that I'm kind of like indifferent to. However, I've warmed up to it in recent years. Number one, because it is a little nostalgic at this point to hear songs from the 90s. That and the fact that it was rock, okay? And some of the excesses, the behavioral excesses of the 80s, even though they were corrected in the 90s to some degree, they had their own issues in the 90s. I mean, the party was over, but now we were in counseling in the 1990s. And, this sort of self-aggrandizement and woe is me, which was part of pretty much all the lyrics, was kind of a Debbie Downer. So I don't agree with everything about 90s music, but I am finding more redeeming qualities in it. As far as Rick Beato, he's really good at what he does. He's very straightforward and to the point, and he deserves support from people on YouTube and people in the space where we're just talking about music, even if my lane is completely different from Rick's lane. And I know people get on me because I don't stay in the music lane. I go to different places because, like I always say, it's kind of a slow day in the world of classic rock. When rock has fallen out of favor, talking about it isn't really going to boost your channel. So I continue on because there are a lot of people who appreciate what I do or are of the same generation, and we want to talk about the same things, and we don't understand the world in the same ways. And I think Rick is encountering this with his battle with Universal Music Group. And again, this is why people say, use a song next time. You didn't even play the song. I'm not going to play the song. I don't have lawyers, okay? I've already had enough trouble with the other channel. And so here I am trying to rebuild. I'm going to be a good little boy and try to play by their rules for the most part. I know there are topics that they're not going to promote. The algorithm is going to shy away from. The more mindless the content, the better the videos do here on this platform. So I've been saying that for years. Anyway, folks, Rick Beato, a good guy, a smart guy, and you know, um, I hope he perseveres. He said at the end of this that he really doesn't want to fight this battle anymore. Reminds me of my friend Graham Goebel from the Little River Band when he said, we fought this and we can't seem to win. And I'm older now and I really don't have the stomach for this stuff. And I just feel bad in both cases for both guys because uh, they deserve better. And I think Rick may prevail because he does have quite a following and people do support what he does. But, I get it. After a while, you're just like, yeah, just tired of this circus and I don't want to play this anymore. So, anyway, I'm here and I thank those of you who are here with me and again support Rick and his work and just that's it. That's the video. So I'll talk to you soon, everybody. God bless. Remember, Jesus is the way. Through all this stuff, all the troubles, turmoils, conflicts, this is something that definitely differentiates me from other people who do this. I talk about Jesus. So anyone can come to Jesus. You don't have to clean yourself up first. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get rid of all your sins because I think that's just about impossible, right? You can't obey the law. So you need someone who's obeyed the law on your behalf and has taken the pain and the punishment and everything that was meant for you. He's taken it on his shoulders, all right? And he did all the work on the cross at Calvary. So to be saved, you put your faith and put your trust in the one who did all the work. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's God's upside down love and grace for you. So that's it. See you soon.